don't compare your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 22. You will get so lost out there, and you would find yourself in a place where you're saying, God, I have faith, but your faith is not being put to work because you've got in this state of paralysis, because you don't know how to go forth and create that kind of content or that material or produce the results that they have produced, because they've been in the game way longer than you. Hey there, Co-Air. Welcome to another episode of One Air TV. I'm your girl, I'm your host, I'm your sis, I'm your virtual bestie, J. Renee, also known as, well, really known as Jessica. But I do go by J. Renee on the social media platforms. Look at me, dropping everything. I mean, this is the very start. Everything's supposed to be smoothing. Let's make sure our phone's turned on silent. So, what am I talking about today? I'm talking about how the time is now to create space. Look, y'all, I journal all the time. At least I try to journal all the time. Sometimes I take long breaks, but for the most part, I journal all the time. And in doing so, I'm always writing down things that I find to be inspirational, things that I find to get me up, moving about, and really pursuing what it is that I am purposed to pursue. So today I wanted to pull a segment out of my journal and talk about this specific section that I wrote back in March the 6th to be exact, and that was a Saturday. And I was very motivated after I finished up with a virtual online conference, and it was really inspirational. The women there were all coming on talking about a specific subject, and when everything was all said and done, I took the time to write, give God the space to create. I find that, and you guys, I mean, I'm just talking off the top of my head instead of trying to actually go by some type of script, but I think this is what I'm going to start doing, some things like this where I'm just talking, and we'll see how it goes. But give God the space to create. I wrote that down because I find that many times we plan and we plan and we plan and we plan some more. And we'll have it so much so that our whole day is planned out and there's no space in between, no flexibility in between for God to come in and do the creating, right? He's the ultimate creator. He created you and I. He created the heavens and the earth and all the hosts in it. That's what the word says. So why is it that we put so much pressure on ourselves to come in and create all and everything that we can imagine or that we feel like we've been led to create, instead of just stepping back at times and giving God that time and that space to step in and do what he does best? So that, when I wrote that down, I was like, I have to share this. I have to share it. And when I say today that the time is now, like the time is now, I've been finding these last few months, it's been a great time for me to just like enjoy Jessica and sit back and take care of Jessica and y'all enjoy what life has blessed me with, me and actually our household with over this period. Even though it's quarantine, pandemic kind of thing, you know, people social distancing, I still feel like God is in the blessing business and God is seeking those who are seeking him. And so if you can find that time, make that time now. Understand that no matter the circumstance or no matter what the situation is around you and what that looks like, God still can create in a foreign land. He can still come in and birth something in a place that is so unfamiliar to you. That's the kind of God we serve. So give God the space to create. And Lisa Nichols, which is an influencer, I call her, and she's a motivational speaker. She spoke this, and I wrote this down. Don't compare your chapter 2 to someone's chapter 22. You know, many times I will and have, and I'm very intentional about doing so. When I get on social media, looking at people who have been doing this, been doing whatever it is that you're seeking to be doing, been pursuing the business, been in business for 10 years, and you're just starting out, you're in your first year. We're looking at their progress. We're looking at where they're at there in their chapter 22, and yet we're only in our chapter 2. So don't compare your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 22. You will get so lost out there, and you will find yourself in a place where you're saying, God, I have faith, but your faith is not being put to work because you've got in this state of paralysis, because you don't know how to go forth and create that kind of content or that material or produce the results that they have produced, because they've been in the game way longer than you. So I've been encouraging myself to enjoy where I'm at. Have you ever been on social media? I do quite often, where I'll get on and then I'll just start strolling through to like the very beginning of someone's social media feed, just to see where they started out at. It gives me so much motivation to know that just because I'm starting my Instagram journey in 2021, or that I'm just now getting the hang of TikTok or any of these other platforms that so many people have already mastered, it gives me courage to know that everyone has a starting place. Everyone has to start now. So leads me back to this whole YouTube video today. The time is now. The time for us to start is now. I posted on social media today that faith is perfected when it's working. And when I say perfected, I'm not talking about or implying that there is flawlessness in your faith. What I'm saying is that you have faith enough to do what it is that God desires for you to do. It is sufficient enough for God. And so when we put that faith to work, that very thing that we're believing God to do in our lives, when you put that to work, when you start somewhere, he will see that, he will acknowledge that, and he will begin to lay out the next step. You know, why are we seeking the finish line and we haven't even crossed the start? We haven't even crossed the starting line. Why do we do that? But you know, that goes back to what Lisa Nichols says, that not comparing your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 22. The issue is that I won't step outside of my way in order to make way for who it is that I see myself becoming.